And we'll start with Jeff Magliochetti.
Hey, Coach, thank you for joining us today. Welcome back. And you are conducting your first training camp in the New York area. What are the differences this time around, and how liberating does it feel to be outside of the bubble?
Was that a pun, Jeff? Liberating. Look, it's been really nice. That's one of the first things we talked about yesterday when we kicked things off. Getting to have a home, getting to see your colors and your logo, getting to have a sense of routine in terms of staying in your own place and having your own space and things like that. It's been really, really nice. And I think in addition, just to have somewhere where you're familiar, with the court and with the locker room and all that stuff, it's been really, really nice.
And you announced the hiring of an assistant coach today in Jacki Gemelous. How great is it to have someone who defies the character, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. How great is it to have someone who defines the trait of character so well on this team through her perseverance, not only through her injuries, but making a WNBA roster as a third-round pick?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jeff. That's one of the things that attracted me most to calling Jacki was the idea that she personifies everything that we're about. The toughness, the grit, and she's a really unselfish, hardworking person, and that's kind of been the makeup of this organization, and the direction we're headed. And I just think adding somebody like her, she's so eager to learn, and she's still feeling her way. She's still a little nervous, which I would be too. I get it, but she's got so much to offer, and I think just she could not say anything, and just the path she's taken and the perseverance she's shown speaks for itself. And I think it garners respect right away, but she also has a really great basketball mind. So I think as she gets more and more comfortable to share, I think the players are really going to feed off of that.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Walt. Good to see you. Thanks for being here with us. So first thing for me is, what can you tell us about these new additions? You've got Asia Taylor, you have 2 players with the last name Bailey, and then you've got these 3 rookies. So what have you seen from them so far, and what can you tell us about them?
I'd say Ate is exactly the person that I hope she'd be, bringing her in. I mean, I got to coach her a little bit in Minnesota, and I've seen the way that she's conducted herself her whole career, and absolute class act. She's a professional. We're really lucky to have her here, and it's fun because she's getting some teaching. Some of the nitty gritty, the details and nuances. We're trying to give her some more of that and really hold her accountable to help her continue to grow. Even as somebody who's now a veteran in this league. But her energy and her positivity it's just fantastic. I mean, there's not a team in the world that wouldn't want to have Asia Taylor be a part of a training camp. And then as far as the rest, I'd say that they're all really settling in nicely. Energy has been great. The whole group, we haven't gotten to see Jazmine yet. We're still going through some COVID protocols from her coming back from overseas, Bailey. But in terms of the rest of them, they've just been great. I can't say enough. They're still learning, but they don't look lost. Like I've seen some rookies really look lost. We didn't really have too much of that last year, and we don't have that this year. And I think it's a testament to the basketball IQ and the work ethic of these players.
Right. And one more from me, just an update on Sami Whitcomb. I mean, it said that she's not in camp now, but there was some press release from her Turkish team that said she was ill. So could you update us on that? Maybe that was incorrectly translated from Turkish to English.
Yeah. She's it's the same case with her as it is with Jazmine Bailey, that really we're getting her through all of the necessary cardiac testing and things like that. From the COVID protocols. And so, we're expecting Sami to be in camp in the next couple of days.
Okay, good. Thanks so much, Coach.
Got it.
For sure.
Chris, are you on mute?
Sorry, Coach. I had to turn my car back on. I'm out and about. I apologize. I guess my first question, I want to circle back to Jacki. All the adversity she went through to get to where she got in the league. To me, as a player, knowing what she went through and seeing her presence on that bench, especially with the younger players that you have, I mean, that definitely had to be one of the attractions of bringing her onto the staff.
No question. No question. I think the work ethic is, we'll probably all say that about 100 times, and it should be said, over and over again, because it's not normal. That's what makes her an exceptional add to a coaching staff, is that she's done it. It's like when you add somebody like Shelly Patterson, who's won championships and she knows what it's like and she's been there and she can speak from experience, then the words are heavier. They carry more weight. And I think that with Jacki, when she talks to somebody about, working hard or pushing through something, it's one thing for somebody to say it who's never really been through that adversity. It's another thing, when somebody's like, man, I'm so frustrated. I'm having to rehab this broken finger, and Jacki's like, look, this is a broken finger. I've been through, 9 ACL surgeries or whatever. I think that perspective is really, really good, not in a way of, making somebody feel bad from rehabbing from an injury, but more so that they understand that, like, look, Jacki was able to do this with far more difficult circumstances, and she persisted throughout year over year over year, kind of in spite of the odds. So I think that from that perspective, she can really offer them a lot. And I think, like I said, the weight of the words coming from her and Shelly, in their own ways, they're really powerful. They're really good additions.
Just one more. Last year, it's your first year with the team, and you're put into a situation that you have to coach the team in a bubble. You don't have your entire roster. I know you went through hell and back last year. Everybody really did with the bubble and with the pandemic. But starting your coaching career at the head coaching level in that situation had to be tough, but it also had to teach you a lot. And I want to know how you go forward after that year. Jeff asked you about being in your own arena. That has to be first and foremost the greatest thing. But just taking that year and putting it into perspective and making you grow as a head coach, how did that help?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's been really formative. I think there are things that you just can't learn until you're in the seat, and some of the things that the pretty extraordinary adversity of that season, between the injuries and, not having players. And we're kind of going through the same thing this year with, a handful of players coming late and some coming really late, big parts of our team. But it's like, I've done it before, it's right. This is par for the course now because we went through that. And so I think that, that's probably a good start to an answer to your question, is that, when you don't get what you want, you get experience. And that's what I've taken from that, is understanding how to roll with punches, understanding, that there's no one feeling sorry for us. There's other teams that have people that are out and, have adversity too. And it's really just about making the most of what we have, every single day. And I think the second part of that would be, in terms of my learning, I think just, a sense of what it means to be a head coach. It's different in terms of the level of energy that you have to bring and the focus you have to bring. I think I just learned between that season and Germany, when I got to coach the women's national team in Germany, that I was able to take that season and kind of try out a new approach in Germany. And it's a little bit more direct, and I'd say that after that first year, I got more confidence. I feel more like it's my team, and not like I'm having to prove myself or, win people over, but more so, no, we're going to do this thing together and I'm going to steer this ship. That was really my biggest takeaway, is really finding myself, finding that coaching voice, going from being an assistant who really, it's really relational. It's really important that you're, it's personal relationships and that you can garner. I think now as a head coach, it's more important that I'm really looking out for the entire group at all times. And I'm always referencing what's best for the team in every decision I make. And I'd say that was definitely the biggest takeaway.
Thanks, Walt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Next up, Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Coach, good to see you today.
Hey, Doug.
Part question. First, just how Sabrina's looked to you, either today or before shooting around. And the second part is just you mentioned all the changes from last year and not being in a bubble and such. Just how important is that mentally, knowing that the team's not around each other 24/7 so that they have some time sort of like not be on the basketball court, which I know is important, but just to be out and be professionals in a sense and not be 24/7 basketball.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I'll say in terms of Sabrina stuff, everything's good structurally. We're easing her back in. As you can imagine, I want to take an abundance of caution with everything with Sabrina. Make sure that she's in a really good place and not rush anything. So, but everything looks good there. In terms of the second part, yeah, I think it's hard. It's really hard to have perspective kind of on the difficulties of being in that bubble. For the players, being around it all the time and not having an escape, to your point, it just wears on you. It just wears on you in ways that you don't even realize. So I think for them to have escapes and space and getaways and have their own place to be, we're still going to have some bubble restrictions. Oh, it's like bubble light, because we still have a lot of COVID protocols to follow. But it's still going to be a dramatic difference in terms of people's ability to kind of get away and have some time to themselves.
Last question, Erica Ayala.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you. Looks like you got a fresh-ish cut. I always like to see where you're at with the curls. But
she cut it too short, and I had to go back to the old style. The curls don't work.
I understand. I'm letting them grow out a little, but they're covered today.
I respect it. I miss mine already.
All right. We don't want to take up too much time on the tress, but I wanted to ask you a question actually that I asked you the first and only time we were able to be together at Barclays. And that was about creating a coaching staff and a team that would complement your vision while also complementing the areas that you wanted to grow and develop. And given that you've announced a new coach and that you were able to bring on Jacki because she's that former player, which is something new that the league instituted. I just wonder, I want to re-up on that. And in what ways are you hoping, I think you've a little bit already addressed what Jacki can bring, but how do you see Jacki fitting into the system? And then also what your vision is for your growth as a head coach?
Yeah, I think as a whole, from a system and roster perspective, we've done a really good job as a group. Jonathan has done a really good job putting together a group of people who really do fit not just the cultural piece, which is massive, but also the basketball side. The people who can really defend at a high level and whose defensive skills fit our defensive wants and needs as a team, and so that we're going to be able to do a little bit more defensively this year. And we were actually, if you look at a lot of the metrics, kind of middle of the pack in a lot of stuff defensively last year. Really, we turned the ball over too much, and it killed us in terms of a lot of our defensive metrics. But when you isolate and you look at pick and roll and things like that, it was pretty successful given the youth and everything. So we were pretty happy with our defense, but we wanted to kind of ratchet it up another notch. So the people that we have here, we've got a lot of multi-positional players, and it's really the direction that the game is going, and it's certainly the direction we need to go for our system. So we haven't gotten to see even close to what it's going to look like with the whole group, but even just with this group, there's some really exciting stuff happening already. There's a ton to clean up, trust me, but there's moments where it's like, wow, that looked really great. In terms of the staff, I think we're finding a rhythm. It's really nice to have space to meet, and time to meet, and to be able to create our own schedule and not have the time dictated to us and you have to constantly work around all these different things. It's like there's still some of that with COVID and being in the arena and having the nets here and stuff like that. There's still a little bit of moving around, but for the most part, we really do get to kind of control our own little universe, and that makes a big difference. in the way that we can structure things and kind of our sense of agency, just in life in general, kind of back to Doug's question. But the vision for this group is really that everyone's starting to find a niche on the coaching staff. We're all really, in the same way that I was saying that I've been able to find my voice, and to your point about, or question about growth as a head coach, I think taking on even more as the head coach and really, like I said, really steering the ship in terms of not just, from a cultural perspective or, if it's accountability, but really, X's and O's too, clipboard as well, and so I spent a lot of time this off season preparing myself for that. And then in terms of the rest of the staff, I've just got this extremely hardworking group of people that has my back and has each other's backs. And it's really fun. It's been really fun to get to work through what this is going to look like. And we've already found a really nice rhythm, between staff meetings and practice planning and kind of how it all flows together. And then additionally, we've got this unbelievable staff here now. That's one thing I'm really glad that I thought of before we got off this. Our medical staff, to go with Terry and Ohima, and we've got interns, we've got Ashley, our equipment manager here, we've got Griffin here. I mean, we've got so many people now who can help make this thing run smoothly so that it's really the professional experience that the players deserve. And it's already running like a finely tuned machine. And a lot of that's thanks to Ohima and Terry. They're tireless workers and really, really diligent. So I think that probably circles back to the questions about, getting to be at home. That's probably one of the biggest that we've got some people around here now. And it's not just, 2 people trying to run around and do 8 jobs. It's, maybe 10 people for 8 jobs. And that's really nice.
Sounds good. And any update, Coach, quickly on Asia Durr? I know her path has been very unique to a lot of people, unfortunately, in the WNBA.
Yeah. Asia is going to be a situation that I don't know that we're going to get to see her this year because she's still battling with so much. It's, I think at this point, a possibility, but I think it's a very low probability. She's just had an extraordinary amount of things that she's had to fight through. And so we're doing everything we can to support her. And as those updates become available, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Thanks, Coach. All right, next up we have Asia Taylor. Let's give him a second to get out of the room. This one happens to be from Columbus, Ohio, my home place. Very happy about it. Add that to your story. Just kidding. All right, raise your hands, guys. If you have questions, let's get her in there and get her situated. Asia, if you could unmute, let me know when you're.
All right, I'm unmuted. Do I take this off? I don't even know.
You are alone and safe, so you're good. There's
Okay.
Clorox wipes to your left, hand sanitizer. All right, Miles Ehrlich. And if you guys, this is obviously her first media avail, so just let her know which publications you're from before you ask your questions. Thanks, guys.
Hi, welcome to Liberty, first of all, and training camp at Barclays Center. You're coming off a really strong overseas campaign in Spain where you led your team in scoring, rebounding, and steals. Bringing your experience to such a young roster in this training camp, what areas of your game are you focusing on to try and stand out?
Really?
Sorry, I didn't say my publications. Miles Ehrlich with Nets Republic, Winsider, and Queen Ballers Club. Sorry about that.
That's okay. No worries. For me, overseas, I'm very comfortable. I had an important role on my team when I was over there. So I really just being like that vet, I keep telling people like, it doesn't feel like I'm a vet, but also you kind of just wake up one day and you are that vet. So I'm looked at in that way. So I really just want to bring, just a high basketball IQ, bring a lot of energy and effort to the team and stuff and just help wherever I can. I mean, I'm still learning too. So even though I'm a vet, this is a new system for me. Coach wants, different things, different philosophy. So I'm learning, but trying to help at the same time.
Next up, we have Danny Thompson.
Asia, Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. Welcome to New York, by the way. So going to the first day of training camp, is it feel like the first day of school, You get excited, you get the jitters. I know you've been playing basketball for a long time, but coming into a new environment, do you get those first day jitters?
I really do. I mean, I would like to know just league wide, like how everybody feels on that first day of training camp, whether you're a vet or a rookie. For me, every year I feel the same way. It's a new opportunity to showcase yourself, and a lot of times you're going into new systems. I remember my rookie year, like I was just like, man, I don't know what this is gonna be like, but all you can do is leave everything you can on the floor and live with the results of that. So yeah, I get the jitters still. Like, it's an exciting thing. It's a rare opportunity, and I want to always come in and be grateful for it.
Rafiq Lewison.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. Welcome to the WNBA and the New York Liberty. I just want to know, like, how you feeling about your first practice and thoughts of Liberty reaching 25 seasons?
The first practice was really good. So we had practice last night, and today was more of a full practice. And it was really great. I think coach's philosophy, he wants our identity to be defense. And so, we just have to put all of our effort and energy there, and then we know the offense will flow. So it was a really good practice today. It was good energy, good effort. And what was the other part of that?
The Liberty reaching 25 seasons.
Oh yeah. That's huge, man. It's a big deal. We got to meet everybody that's going to be a part of the team this season. And, it's definitely an amazing group of people they put together. I'm excited to just kind of get to know everybody on the team, all the staff, everybody that we have helping us out. And we hope this is going to be a blessed and an amazing year.
Awesome. I'm going to take two more. Jeff Magliochetti, then we'll go right to Jacki Powell. Thanks.
Asia, welcome to New York. Jeff Magliochetti with Empire Sports Media, Nets Republic, and Winsider. Thank you for joining us today. You have some experience. Coach Hopkins was just talking about it just now. You have some experience with a Walt Hopkins system. What's one thing your teammates and Liberty fans in general should know about Walt Hopkins, the coach?
One thing. That's a great question. Like he's gonna bring amazing energy every day. That's one thing you can always count on. I mean, I don't know. His energy really, like, that's what fills the room. Like, I mean, obviously he's our head coach and he's the one leading the ship and stuff, but he's so approachable and he's so just down to earth with everything. You can have a real conversation with him about basketball, about life, So I think more than anything, just knowing, like, yes, he's our head coach and he's going to push us and want us to be great, but he's also very approachable off the court and on the court as well.
You're working with two fellow former Cardinals in Jazmine Jones and Kylie Shook. So what's it like to see this Louisville revolution kind of take over, not just New York, but the WNBA as a whole?
Man, it's pride, really. Like, it's pride. Like, it's, Louisville is an amazing program. I had the best time of my life there it was just my teammates, really. Like, they were just amazing. Like, those girls will be my sisters for the rest of my life. Like, there's no doubt about it. I don't care how long we talk, how long it's been. Those girls that I met at the University of Louisville will be family forever. So Jazz and Kylie, like, they're family too. They're a branch of the family. And I'm just happy to be here. You just have that common denominator. And I got a little bias towards them as well. Like, passing and trying to get them in the right situation. So a major pride, happy to have Louisville out here. It's pride all the way through.
Well, thanks. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, Asia. This is Jacki Powell with The Next. Welcome to New York. So nice to finally virtually meet you. I wanted to ask you about Jacki Gemelous, who was just announced that she's an assistant coach. And I sort of know, you've both sort of been in and out and around the league for a while. So I wonder what you can tell me about her. I mean, you were both drafted by the Lynx, I think, and what you think she's going to bring to this group and what she's brought already.
Yeah. So we've obviously known of each other, but being here was the first time me and her actually had a one-on-one conversation. And amazing person. It's just people that you just meet off of like a first conversation, and you can just tell, like, it's your type of person. Great personality. We just vibe for sure. I think she's going to be a great addition to this team. Obviously, she's basically a player's coach, because she just finished playing, like literally just finished playing. But I just love her energy. I love her personality, very approachable the same way. And I could tell that, like, Walt loved that about her because that's how he is as well. But just her IQ and just her just everything about her. I mean, I feel like she's going to help us a lot, honestly. I've got a lot of good conversations with her already. She's always on the court ready to rebound for you or whatever. So yeah, I really like her, and I think the girls are going to love her for sure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks so much, Asia. Next we have Jazz Jones. All right, everyone. Sarah Valenzuela.
Hey, Jazz. Good to see you again. First of all, congrats on just making it to like today. I kind of wanted to talk about, it seems like this season in particular, this year in particular, you've taken on more of a public role with the Liberty in the sense that you've been in a lot of the marketing campaigns. You've been all over their social media, in a lot of the different community events to start the year. Did you envision when you were coming to the Liberty last year, or even coming into the season, did you envision that you would have this kind of a front-facing role? Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to come play basketball. But did you know that you were, or have an idea that you would have such a front-facing role?
No and yes, because this is something that, like, coming into it last year, I mean, they wanted to get to know me. The marketing team wanted to get to know me, and I was open to a lot of stuff. So, and I'm not shy. I'm not shy from in front of the camera or anything. So, whatever they need, marketing wise, media wise, I'm always down to do it. So yeah, I'm not shy to the camera, so I'm always cool to do it.
Thank you.
Danny Thompson. You might be muted, Danny. All right, Danny, we'll come back to you. Danny Barlavi.
Hey, Jazz. Thanks for taking the time today. I'm Dave Barlavi with Winsider, Nets Republic, and Venus Sports. I was wondering, heading into your second season, if you could talk a bit about your goals for this season, both personally and for the team, and on the court and off.
Basically, both personally and team-wise, I'm here to do whatever the team needs for me to get better. For us to get better, for me personally to get better. This year, I just want to win. You know, I definitely think we have the talent to win more than 2 games this year. But this year is going to be a great year once we get everybody here. So I'm just, whatever it takes to win, I'm down to do. Personally, for me, I need to work on being more consistent on both sides of the ball, causing chaos on the defensive end like I know I can, and just having an impact every time I step on the floor.
Thanks so much.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Jazmine, thank you for joining us. Great to see you again. Your rookie training camp was one spent in the confines of the bubble. How liberating is it to be back, to actually be in New York as a member of the New York Liberty?
It's great. We now get a full experience of a real training camp. So it's just like my rookie season part 2. For me, that's what it feels like, because coming into the training camp, you have these rookies, and then you have these players with only 1 year of experience under their belt, but not a real training camp. So it's like it's like 8, 9 of us that's coming in here with no real training camp experience and don't know what to really expect. So like that was exciting. Just last night we had a great practice, and then this afternoon we had a great practice. So it's just it's an experience, but we're definitely glad to be back in New York, out of the bubble, playing in Barclays, practicing in Barclays, and just being in the city of Brooklyn, and then hopefully the season playing in front of our fans and stuff like that, so we could get the full WNBA experience.
You're a player.
Safely, though, but safely.
Of course. You're a player that has defined the Liberty's never-ending quest for character, in the sense that you go from last pick of the first round, you play a position you hadn't played since high school, and you go on to be part of the WNBA's all-rookie team. How does it feel to be a representative of one of this team's defining characteristics and character?
It's great. Like I've been saying, through all my interviews, it's just a humbling and blessed experience just to even be here last year, just to be a part of the 144 women
playing this game. And then this year just to be here, man. Like every single day I wake up and I'm just living my childhood dream every single day. And I'm just blessed every morning. I just thank the man above. Just thank you for letting me wake up, living my dream, playing the game I love every single day, because not everybody gets to do this. We see this is the hardest league to be in. And just me being here is a blessing every single day.
Thanks, Jazmine. Have a great camp.
Thank you.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Jazz. Miles Ehrlich with Winsider, Queen Ballers Club, and Nets Republic. A couple weekends ago, you participated in Liberty's youth basketball clinic, running drills with kids from around the city. What did it mean to you, finally, as a second-year pro now, be able to interact with the fans and the community for the first time?
It was great. It was definitely great because, during that campus, it wasn't something I was new to, because when I was home, I had a camp of my own going on. So just being able to interact with kids and giving back to the community is always great. And I love doing that stuff. I did that stuff all the time when I was in college. And so just continue to do it and pay it forward is awesome.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Jazz, great to see you. So I wanted to know, so I'm with the Next, but I want to know if you could take me inside or using your words, obviously, the HSS practice facility, because I know you all are new to this wonderful, wonderful facility. So if you could sort of tell us sort of what it's like to be in there and to practice in there.
I mean, it's awesome.
Just really quickly, Jazz. So we're actually at Barclays on the practice court. The HSS practice facility is a different building, just to be clear, Jackie. Yep. So
thank you.
We're in Barclays Center on the practice court in Barclays. Sorry to cut you off, Jazz, but still an amazing facility. Just wanted to make sure it's clear.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about the Barclays practice court, but the Barclays practice court is awesome. It's spacious. I mean, it's another gym that we get the opportunity to get better in every single day. So, yeah,
much better than the IMG Wubble, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were blessed with the gym in the bubble, and we had access to the gym in different courts and stuff like that. So that was good. But now just being able to have our, own space and things like that, be as loud as we want to on the court is nice, and have our privacy and everything. So that's dope.
For sure. And could you just tell us about some of the new faces? What do you think of them, and what are your first impressions?
Like the first two practices, everybody has been great. The talk, the communication, the energy, the effort has been outstanding. We're just looking forward to, gelling together and learning more every single day. Coach Walt has done a great job in putting emphasis on what he wants to work on to start the season off, and that's been defense. And defensively, this year we're going to cause chaos, cause havoc all over the court. And so I think all us buying into that is going to be great.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jazz. I appreciate it.
All right, two more questions. Erica Ayala, and then we'll go to Danny Thompson.
Thank you much, Jazz. This is Erica Ayala, and asking this question for Locked On Women's Basketball, where I've been following a lot of the work that the WNBA and women's basketball have been doing regarding social justice. So while we were on this call, got word that the United States Attorney General is going to be investigating the Louisville Police Department. So this is in addition to some investigations that have happened, obviously through the city of Louisville, but this is now the U.S. Coming in and taking a look at that. Given all that the WNBA did to honor the legacy and the life of Breonna Taylor and the verdict that we got in the Chauvin case, I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts and reactions to the news that the U.S. Attorney General will be looking into the Louisville Police Department.
I haven't watched much news lately. I've just been kind of focused on basketball. So I haven't had I don't have much intake or information about it, but my next media you can ask me about it, and I'll do my research and have an answer for you there.
Fair enough. I appreciate and respect that answer.
Jazz, Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. Welcome back. The smile's back in your face again. So as you go from season 1 to season 2, I asked this of players in the WNBA and the NBA. As you start training camp, has the game slowed down for you, or have you seen any differences in the first 2 practices this year compared to where you were about, let's say, 365 days ago?
Definitely. Coming on the court with, when I come on the court anyways, I'm always like really energetic, still talking and whatever. But now I'm coming on the court with a lot more energy, more talking, but actually knowing more things than I known last year. And when Michaela or Janelle, they ask me questions today, like I have an answer because I went through it last year and learned a lot of things, and just being a leader now to those 2 and then the rest of them. So just now having that more confidence to actually speak up and say something and ask questions for clarification, because last year might have been shy here and there, don't want to ask them questions, don't want to, things like that. But now just having a voice and just being, like I said, being a leader.